See how it's going. Oh well, hopefully good.
I don't have Cypher, but I don't.
Cypher? Let me have a
Yeah.
look. It's oh yeah, it's a support. They need to find there's a sub out from them. So
Okay. Yeah, no, it's a legal sub.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the sub.
Well, illegal. Okay, how can I do this now? Payment online. How can I get the link for my team? Any idea?
I've never used YouTube for live. I barely know how to upload video to YouTube.
Oh, actually, there we go. I found it. Okay, let's upload this one for them. Everyone, set be online on YouTube Gaming instead for tonight. Link. Yeah, I think it's working now. 90-second delay for avoiding sniping.
Ah.
There we go. Okay, let's do it, boy. It's on.
Okay,
It's on. Yep.
From YouTube, this is them trying to do Twitch. Okay.
Okay, so okay. Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, to another thing, stage 1, precision 1 of camp. It's me, Kama. Oh well, G5 not here, so today it's gonna be me and Pyronut. We're gonna do the hell of casting for tonight, and I hope you got on par. I'm gonna press the button for the game going on, and I think both teams gonna get ready. So before we go into the action, Pyronut, tell me how you feel about those team tonight, Outcloud versus Kraken.
I've seen Allclock do some really great performance last week, where they went really hard against the Big Doge, which are one of probably the most powerful teams in here, and put up a very strong showing. So I'm expecting to see them do really well tonight. Team Kraken, I haven't actually seen play in a couple of weeks, so it's going to be interesting to see how they've developed as a team since I've last personally seen them. I think Allclock probably has the advantage coming in here. But we'll see how this one goes.
Yeah, let's see how things go, man. Well, I can't wait to see it. So the first one we have is the map set between them. So the first one could be Route 66. In the meanwhile, the game getting in, we're gonna just look around this map. Okay, the first one, Route 66. Tell me, what's gonna be happening here, Pirate? After you're watching this for like the whole 2 weeks coming back here.
So Route 66, it really depends on. Oh, we already have a pulse. Someone must have DC'd. So the big thing with Route 66 is basically how well the defenders can put up a fight on that first point, because it can be quite easy to basically the moment you've lost the first fight on there, it's quite common for it to roll all the way through the third without really much chance from the defenders. So it really comes down to how well they can set up for that first point hold, and if they manage to stabilize. Once we get to third point, which will almost always happen, it then can really grind out in there, and it can be quite some time before the attackers get through, if at all. And often we need to see teams completely change up their composition to take the third point, just because the map goes from being very wide open to being very tight. Up a very strong showing, so I'm expecting to see them do really well tonight.
Yeah, that's the thing gonna be going on. Like, we're gonna see a lot of things happening around, and for Route 66, as we see, well, it's not like Junkertown, but in my opinion, they could still be able to pull that one around with Orisa, Roadhog, Bastion, with the sniping, because this map, legit, like, there's gonna be like on the top right, and you see on the top of the gas station, you can see like Orisa can try to build out a shield there. And what you can do, you can just destroy that shield, and it's gonna be like a main call for this attack team, like destroy the shield and keep moving forward with the Bastion, and those things might be happening. Like, we're just looking for that. Yeah. So let's just have a look at the roster. Oh well, I'm not put a name yet. So oh well, guys, we just can have a quick look over here before anything happens first. So. Outcloud, we got DMT, Trinkizay, Liami, Cusack, Swiggy, and Elementic from their main line roster. On the other side, we have the Kraken with Delta coming back soon, because you can tell he like rebooting the game. And Fragenfart, marker 717, Rayon, Taipei, it sounds like Korean name to me, and Cypher. So that's their main roster tonight. They have like, oh, they have like 2 sub. They have 2 sub out, because they have like 2 inactivity member like can make it for tonight. So we hope to see their best performance, even their main roster can fully in 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Teams are sitting now. We do have the Krakens on first attack. So it looks like they may be running a Widowmaker based attack, but we'll see if that changes. Defenders are going for a defensive dive here. So they're obviously, I suppose, not going to commit on locking down on that rooftop and rather aggressively engaging.
I think you can do my job, dude.
Probably as they
Someone has to.
And it does look like at this stage, unless we see some late changes, they'll be sticking with that Widowmaker Genji comp.
I see some Delafield skin over there on Fragenfart of Monkey AQC. Interesting. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Kraken's support choices because they don't have any healing that can really follow those tanks in. So it's gonna
Okay, here comes the payload.
And the cart's coming up. So we just doing some scanning.
Just some Pokken coming so far. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Here comes the Widow. She might get picked because that's really important. Here comes the Dicom.
There's the dive under the roof. But,
Oh, the monkey
yeah,
got deleted right away.
Yeah, he doesn't have any healing to go in with him really, so it's going to be very hard for him to stay alive. That's such aggressive dives.
Here we come go. We have like both Diva just try to match it on both sides. And look guy, Outcloud defend that like successful with the Q fit can tell the story. String is on pawn with Genji now. He kind of like dashing and clutching everyone with the name of Outcloud.
So a very strong hold there by O'Clock, and that's going to set them up to potentially hold it quite some this first one. Krakens come in to set up their next attack.
They're gonna monkey die here? Ooh, he's really slow, he needs to get out. On the other hand, we have Outclock here.
And there goes Delta. Twinks has just been hunting that Widowmaker to not have Kraken now losing the Marcus Dealer as well. I think they're probably going to need to retreat. O'Clock getting the res in as well.
String is become like pretty like aggressive because he have like nearly the ult, and after that fight from the whole team of Outclock, they got like nearly 6 ult. So this is gonna be like the game of the queue. Who have more ult? Gonna using that ult to win the fight. Here comes the Genji play. Can he find anything with that play?
Getting spooky early in the fight is a good start for Kraken. And O'Clock have popped the Valk in response to that. Still Marco picking up his egg. That's an advantage for Kraken.
Here comes the D.Va bomb. Can he do something from that? Oh, he got one kill!
Oh, does pick up Ryan. Looked like it was safe in the barrier, but Twinks is pulling out the blade. He's going to try and turn this fight around now. He does get Fragrant Fart, so things are looking very good there for him. And yes, the Krakens are backing off now. Cypher going down on the tail end of that nice stagger kill. And on Delta as well.
Wow.
Liam cleaning up the tail end of this fight quite well with that race.
Liam just kind of like clutching with his D.Va boosting, and then he just gets the Tracer from nowhere. That's unfortunately for Delta.
Yeah, Delta has, however, already built up their Pulse Bomb in one fight after swapping off the Widowmaker, so that's going to give them an opportunity, but Kraken have obviously used a lot of ults that fight and not really seen a lot of progress, whereas Orklok being quite good with their ult economy and still have a couple in the bag. And there's the Transcendence committed by Orklok, so that's going to put them in a great position to win this fight.
They are doing it. He tried to make a clutch. Unlucky he can't do it. Quite great.
And yeah, the Krakens are spread out all over the place at this point. They're getting picked off. Good kill by Delta on the Squidgy at the end, but this fight is all but over. Delta really needs to get out. And Krakens, oh, I was going to say hopefully try and get another push before the Zen comes back, but that res will end that window as well.
This is like pretty hard situation for them, because they're going like pushing, they have ulti, but however, the Outclock team just stopping all that ulti from like both sides of their DPS. So the really much they can do now, they just try to get a support, they can try to get the Diva out, and then that might be the fight they can fight. Here comes the Genji Blade, can he fight the Totally One?
And Dragon Blade, but Dragon Blade does take down 265.
Here comes the second
Twinks' Blade in response, picks up Tebe. He's going for the Diva mech as well. Yep, Marker's being demeched, and as the sword goes away, this fight is looking very strongly in favour of Orklok at the moment. Pulse Bomb takes out Liami's mech though, that may be the opening they need, and reinforcements will be coming in faster for Kraken. So let's see if they can grind this one out. They're pushing back, Liami's dead, reinforcements arriving for Orklok now though. Gusek's gone down already though, so this is still looking very strong for Kraken. Diva mech's exploding overhead, not getting much but creating space. Fragrant Fighters just primal raging and creating a lot of space as they are slowly grinding back Orklok here. It looks like they may get this one through point A.
They are doing it, they are doing it. DMT tried his best, he can, like Delta. He tried to aim for the bomb. He's gonna get a bomb really quick after farming from DMT. But DMT also tried his best to steal the pawn. Can he find the Blading One?
DMT gets cut down by Delta, but no one's really dying in this fight at the moment. I think both teams need to work on their target calls. Oh, there we go. And now with Twinks and Kusik both down, it's just a matter of cleaning up Liami, and this point will be getting
a Diva Bomb to try to
commits the Diva Bomb there.
He found one DMT! Holy crap!
He does get one with it, but
he can transcend, he can make that.
Going for this stall, but I'm not sure why. Kraken have so many people on this point. I feel like they're just throwing away these ultimates at this point.
Like,
DMT going on the card. Twinks comes in. That's a Dragon Blade. Another ult committed into this. That's incredible. But and as a result, they do bait out Tebe's in response. And yes, finally, Orklok looks like they will be completely cleaned up here, and the point will go through to Kraken. That said,
what the fuck?
They have baited out so many ults from Orklok because Orklok just kept throwing ults into that. Whereas Kraken they've got their Primal Rage up again, they've got Diva Self-Destruct again, and they're most of the way to a Pulse Bomb as well. So that puts them in a great position to just snowball through this second point.
That's unlucky for Outclass. Like, they tried to stall, that's a good stall, but they got an ulti, but they're able to secure that properly. Got their support from enemy team from Kraken. They're so good at clipping that ulti to defend and protect them. Here we go again. Here comes the diving and counter dive. Can they find the target they want?
Counter dive goes in. Kraken are in deep. They do get Squidgy. It's a good start, but they are very deep right now. Limecking Liami is a good follow-up though, and with Kusik going down, yes, that's a one fight for Team Kraken. Twinks does get a kill on the Delta off the tail end of that, but that card is just going to keep rolling.
Yes, today it's gonna keep going rolling for the second pawn indeed, because it's so close and no one able to stop that. Looks like.
Yeah, it would be very difficult to push out into the card at this point. I think they just need to give up and let it go through. But here they come, they're going for it. See if they can get any kills in there to make it happen. And Squidgy going down early does not put Orklok in a good position. No, Orklok have lost both their supports now. Twinks getting a kill, but Kusik going down. Kraken cleaning up. Twinks pops his Dragon Blade into a lost fight. Does clean up Moira. He's going for it, he's flashing around, he gets two. He gets three from that Dragon Blade, but there were just too many people alive. I really think Orklok need to work on their ult discipline because they are committing ults into fights that they just can't win, even with big performances such as Twinks' 3k there. There just wasn't enough left alive for Orklok to be able to win that fight.
So for now, DMT switch to like Reinhardt. He might try to get the shadows through C to counter the whole diving comp. But I don't think that's a good point, because at this spot, if you like Reinhardt, you're gonna get like Monkey and Diva like counting you by killing your support from behind. But let's see how things go. Oh, they got one pick from both sides and the rest going. That's good.
Yeah, no, it looks like a very staggered engagement there. We got attack visor being committed by Cossack as Allclock pushed back. They're trying to hold them at this ramp. If they can hold them at this ramp, Reinhardt is very strong. If you deny those flank routes and give them limited ways to come in, just ball up on him, this point actually plays very strongly into Reinhardt. It's so enclosed. You have Delta flanking around behind, Pulse Bomb thrown but doesn't quite catch Elementic's Mercy there. And Kraken's making their way around onto the high ground. Do lose Delta in the process though, so that does put them into a bit of a bad position, but they have picked up Squidgy. And there's Kraken's self-destruct. It's coming in a great angle there to make a lot of space and really force Allclock into a bad position as they clean them up there.
Taibei keep doing his job. He got the play. He secured the kill.
Oh, it's just cleaning up now, and Krakens will keep this one rolling through.
That's it. The roll gonna keep going, and I don't know if Outlook can make it. They can still. Now they switch to Junkrat. That's a good pick. Now they just need to stick together, like slower, and they might find that kill.
Yeah, they need to make sure they come in together and not get staggered out further, which it looks like they've done. They're coming in nice and measured. Earthshatter
no, it's locked
does get them just before that barrier goes up, and that's a great charge pin on the top.
Green using play. He tried to find the first target. Victim. Yes, he find one. He move in second. He got D.Va. Now he's just stolen that D.Va outside, and Kraken is back up.
I'm of two minds with that because it felt like that blade was committed into the fight they've already won, but at the same time, with so little time left on the clock, it seems unlikely. I don't know, I would have actually liked the Twinks' Genji there to hold the blade. That Transcendence will help a lot in this final fight as we have the brawl on the payload. Krakens cannot afford to leave that payload alone. Puts him in a very dangerous spot.
Delta 5-1 kill on Squidgy. That's the important thing.
Squidgy going down is big, but Ryan gets traded back with self-destruct. Breach gets Taibei, and that puts...
That's a bomb. He finds Joe! That fucking heals! Holy
crap! By Delta. Huge pulse bomb to win this back. Liam Pico, it's just kills going either way, but I think these closer respawns of the Krakens are looking like they're going to win out this fight. That said, Allclock still have 3 people on this payload, and they are dancing around.
We have to play.
Weeks pulls out his blade. He's going for it. He may actually turn it around here. He's trying to get Delta. Does get Delta. Earthshatter coming in as well. And yes, it looks like they're all off the card.
They make it.
Very close, but the closer respawns for Allclock eventually win that one out with another Dragon Blade in that final fight already. So, as much as I have a go at him for using his blade just 20 seconds before end of round, he does get one up again in overtime. So, perhaps not such a bad decision after all.
Yes, that's well good fight. Like they put up together at the team when they're using ult at the very end to stop the push, and after waiting for the Lucio ult gone down, they go in for that kill. Like they just wait for it. That's a good play. They try to bind back together, and I think Allclock still have a chance to win the first map.
Oh, absolutely. That's a very long push, and after all, Kraken's almost got completely ground out in first point, so it would not be unlikely to see a repeat happen. And it looks like Krakens are going with a classic anti-dive comp here, running Hog Orisa as well as McCree Junkrat, and Lucio Moira again from them. Now I think this comp synergizes a lot better with their supports, and certainly if it's executed very well, it's going to be nasty if Allclock continue to run a dive comp.
In 30 seconds.
And we'll see, it looks like Allclock are going for that Genji Soldier dive comp. Not running a Zen though, which can mean that Dive struggles to drop things quick enough. Especially running into this counter dive comp, they could be in for a lot of hurt if they don't have those clean engages.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Okay, here we go, son. One again, ladies and gentlemen. DMT leading the chart. Let's go to the payload and see how they're gonna do it. Oh, at the Audit side, we have like Orisa, Hawk, and Junkrat. That's a very good strong to hold and defend a counter dive. Can they fight this one together? We will see.
Marker's sitting a bit far back for my liking though. If they set up right on the lip there, they can block the cart from the roof, which they're not doing, so Orclock have an opportunity here to just keep pushing the cart. They don't have to dive that rooftop because the defenders are set up a little too far back. And sure enough, Kraken having to now engage onto the cart. And so far, no kills for either side. A lot of Moira healing keeping the Krakens up. And they've set up a good defensive line in that last block there. Still no kills yet for either team. As they try and poke through. Oh, but Marker goes down as this fight gets opened up. And yeah, look, oh, that's 3 kills by the way of Orclux. The Krakens are now in a very bad spot. And
already got
trade
a
back
play.
kills. Yes, Orclux have just walked through this one. Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, as I said, like with those anti-dive comps, you need to set up far enough forward on the roof that you actually are able to contest the cart from the rooftop. Otherwise, they don't need to be dived, and you're not being dived at an anti-dive comp and have to engage onto them. It takes away the strength of what you can set up there.
Now let's talk about the ult. We can see like on the right side they have 3 ult, 4 ult actually. By now for the Rakan, and the other left side they have 4 ult as well. And also Q's are gonna contribute with the Tackle Visor. It's gonna be number 5, very strong one to kill the support. So this is gonna be the game of the mind, like which support will do the ult better to counter the body game. Oh, they fight already one now.
They're going in, yeah. Squidgy goes down early as Krakens engage onto them. And Delta committing Deadeye there.
1, 2,
does
one.
get Twinks, and
yeah,
the
as well.
Orclock are going to get cleaned up on this. It's just a clean up of the tanks at this point, and DMT getting out of there.
That's a good one. And there we go. They have to reset the fire again and see how things go. Here we go. Now Delta swapped pretty quick to Tracer. That's a very interesting pick. Like he did have a good one on McCree, but then he just can't find that spot because enemy team diving so good and his team can't defend himself.
Well, they've switched off their tanks already, which is why they were back down in the ultimates, so they're moving over to a more dive-oriented comp. And I think they needed to get rid of the McCree there because he was just a very obvious, vulnerable dive target. And I think the only reason he didn't swap earlier is he had that Deadeye shot up. So it's good to see a quick use of that ultimate and a quick change. It does work with their combo. Now Squidgy goes down early in this fight, and Delta takes down Elementals as well. Kraken's looking in a very good position to hold off this push as well.
They have to back up now.
Once again, yeah, the tanks retreat from Orclock, and Twinks trying to get out. They are chasing, but they won't chase them further because they did manage to get a good ordered retreat in. Yeah, I think at this point, Kraken have a very strong advantage.
Here comes the Valkyrie. And
that's it. They're coming in. And there, that Sandberry gets committed, which will take a lot of damage out of that ultimate. Squidgy does get the res on Twinks up, however, trades their life for it shortly after. Kusek picks up Ryan, but gets picked up in turn by Marker. It's anyone's fight at this stage, although Elementic's going down to that Diva Bomb there, along with the enemy map, does suggest that Krakens will win this one out. And sure enough, DMT has called the retreat, and they're just trying to get out of this one alive. Twinks does get staggered, though, off the end of that, so that's going to hurt them a bit.
I understand.
Yeah, I think they might need to consider swapping Moira for a Zen thing of part of Orclux, because they've gone over to Pharah now, so that'll give them a new angle. But yeah, I don't think Moira plays well into what's happening right now. So
they tried to dive it, but not really focusing on one target. That's the oh no, they tried it on the trunk grab to eliminate him from the team fight, which is a good play from DMT.
Marker is very overextended and right in the middle of all of Orclock though, and sure enough there comes the DMX. Fragrant Fart tries to come in and save, it gets in too late, and I think Orclock have the edge on this one. Fragrant Fart committing the Primal Rage just to try and stabilize here, buy a bit more time for the respawns. Marker has been rezzed and
Liam fine, what a Kontebe from the downtown.
Gets, yeah, the self-destructs have just been getting people at unexpected angles, I think. But despite this, Kraken is still grinding out on this payload, and we've had some more kills coming through. Delta has swapped back onto Widow and has just picked off the pharmacy, and yeah, the Krakens are forcing Orclock back.
That's an interesting pick right
Very
there.
strong plays from Delta, who swaps over onto the Widow to give them some means to counter there, and then cleans up the pharmacy in short order.
Oh, he's not a very good position right now. He tried to sniping the DPS team from Outlaw.
Oh, Squidgy, way out in the
That's a
open,
good pick.
straight into the sightlines of Delta and gets punished hard for it. And now Orklok have 1 minute left to make this push happen, and they have a Riptide to worry about going after them as well.
Okay, it's fine.
It doesn't get anything, but they're already very well staggered. And stagger kill there would have just been tragic for them. They're making their way in, but Squidgy goes down again! Delta has popped the Mercy the last 3 fights.
Twink tried to do more damage on
Yeah.
the DPS on the butler. Can he do it? He tried. That's a good counter
Oh,
from the
it's
Sunberry.
a good self-destruct by Twinks, but they do get body blocked by a tank and
But this is winning fight for
destroy
Orklok.
themselves
They
there.
should
That
both
said,
get that.
Orklok have gotten a lot of kills off the back of that, and they're finally getting this cart moving. They've got 10 seconds until they run out of time, and they've still got
The car
potentially
moving on,
another
and
fight
Soldier
coming
using
in.
the
Kusek
Viper
commits
to
attack
clear things
visor just to clean up that, and yes, I don't think Kraken will be able to come in on this one. So this cart should make it through into stage 3, which means they will have 90 seconds to try and get it almost to the end
On
of
the other
stage.
side,
Oh,
Cypher
they are
tried to do
coming in.
collision.
They are coming in, and they are coming in hard, but Cypher has gone down early to a pick from Twinks. Lemi commits a self-destruct over the top just to make some space. Twinks has picked up Ryan as well, and Tebe, and Delta. That is a 4K in this fight from Twinks. Farah is going off
This
huge
guy is
here,
going here, so
and he's
huge.
just raining down those rockets unopposed from above because Delta has gone back to Tracer, and that has just seen them completely unable to
They're number 5.
deal
There
with
we
that
go.
as this, yeah.
Ultimate is
Delta has gone back to the Widowmaker, but I think Twinks is probably going to barrage and get off Farah fairly quickly in this last point
He could
anyways.
try like get behind the backline.
It's
Sneaky.
very tight in there though, it is not a Farah-friendly point. But
That's
we'll
true.
see how it goes.
Can be out of position a little bit. Might be dangerous. Let's see how things go.
So they're just
Twinkie
balling
is
up at the
Twinkie
moment
behind.
and getting this cart around the corner, but Kusek goes down early and that's the signal for Kraken to go in. Elementic commits the Transcendence.
Oh, that's a good play from
Huge
Tebe.
tire from Tebe, picking up Twinks and Elementix. Coalescence is the name of the old I was thinking of. No longer relevant now as they get blasted out of that by that rip tire from Tebe. And the Krakens have stabilized here with 30 seconds. They're getting desperate for Orklok as they make their way up onto the cart again.
Become a diva bomb. It might be using that for something like backline and try to separate motive. Here comes Diving Con, try to make confusion. I don't think it's gonna be a good idea for them to say one, but here we go. Market
Twinks
fight,
has taken
good
out
side.
Ryan because it goes down in a trade. So it's 5v5 at the moment, but Kusek's back up, giving Orklok the advantage.
Here comes the Baron.
Twink pops.
Oh, he got
the
shut
Baron.
down.
Wide out in the open, and Delta cleans them up, and then Squidgy off the tail of that to boot. Just put Orklok in a bit of an awkward position. Kusek's still up though, still on that payload, but that self-destruct
He's
there
trying
is
to
just
hit
going to
back,
make it
but
right.
it's
He's
gonna
dodging
be
around,
enough.
he's got people chasing him, but he does eventually go down from the the remech damage of all things.
Now Twin tries to stay on the card, but he
Samberry
can't.
committed by the Kraken as they try and stabilize here. Squidgy does get a cheeky res off, right under Winter's sight lines.
Oh, the Widow
Goes
just
down
so
from
freely.
it.
He killed
Delta
people
is
now.
just cleaning up everything in this fight. This is just some incredible Widowmaker play from Delta here, as they just continue to pop off and get those powerful picks. And
They are doing it. They're gonna make it for a
they're
Kraken.
going for it, but
That's
finally,
the first
that's
game
it.
win
That's the end of that one.
this
And
match.
one incredible performance from the Krakens, particularly Delta on the Widowmaker there, to just consistently pick off Squidgy and really just make things a real headache for Orklok. And this will be that double tire we saw earlier.
Riptide.
Just over the top and wasn't even going for the Moira drop through happenstance.
Epic.
Thanks for the love.
Thanks for the love. Yes, that's true. That's the love you got in there, my boy. Well, Kraken, surprise, coming back with that winning, like, from the behind. That's pretty impressive, and they showed they're strong in the team, and they not gonna end it yet here. They try to get in top 4 and they're gonna make it no matter what.
It's definitely a very strong performance from Kraken in the first game of this series. They were, at least at the end of last round standings, towards the bottom end of the bracket, but they may yet make their way up, especially if they can knock All Clock down. That'll open. And it's showing a lot of improvement by them as well. Now, All Clock, on the other hand, were perhaps a little too eager to commit ults into fights. So maybe they need to clean up their ult economy, but at this point, the teams will both have a chance to go over their coaches, and coaches can have a bit of a word to them, see if they can tighten up things. See where for our next map. Over. While their coaches are conferring with those teams, I'll have a short break. Back very short.
Yeah, for sure, guys. Just back in line 3 minutes from now. Yeah. And we're gonna get things start going again. Let's go into the map. So the second map gonna be the Hanamura. So what do you think? What's gonna be happening in this game? Because we can tell like both teams they have Genji. So that's a good first thing they can do with their team. Like Genji in this map is really strong, no matter what.
Yeah, it's definitely a map that favors vertical compositions, just the way the points set out. But Hanamura is an interesting one because there's a couple of different ways to play it, both from the attack and defense. I'd very much like to see the Krakens keep very strong Widowmaker play. Delta playing Widowmaker on the attack of that first point would very potentially crack open the fight for them. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they've been practicing throughout the week and how they've been planning to come into this one.
They pretty feel like come back like pretty strong for this week, and they aim to get that one once again. So I believe like the Tracer and Genji combo is really strong from Rakan. To be honest, like they did have a little bit like suffering, a little bit harder, like struggling for the first fight, but then after that on Row 66, you see they holding the ulti, they try to cooperate, they get a call, and they secure that. That's the very well play and good example of how the team comp should be. Listen to one man calling and respond to that no matter what. Upcloud, in the other hand, they are pretty good. Like they defend pretty well before Kraken really cracked them after the first pawn in Row 66. Then they absolutely like they lost their control a little bit. I can tell like Liami, EMT just diving and not really like, focusing on one target. Twitchy on the other hand like got some random position, got picked like pretty quick, and that make the team go into like bad fight like 5v6 and 4v6. But however, they did put out a very good fight no matter what. So this match, I hope to see the best one again. They're gonna try to make this one. I predict what score you gonna think? Like which team gonna win this map?
I still think that All Clock have the tools they need to do it. They do have a very strong roster, but at the moment the communication is not there. They're not coordinating that well, and their ult economy has been abysmal. They've been throwing ults into lost fights. I think if they clean that one up and start resetting properly and not throwing away ultimates into fights they can't win back, they should be able to win this one out. So it really comes down to if they can sort out those issues. If not, Kraken, I think, will continue to blitz through this one. Either way, we're in for a very close game.
Indeed, that's a pretty close game to be honest. Like both fight at the end, and the Widow pop up. It's the most beautiful thing ever, you see. And yeah, we're gonna back very soon in 1 minute. See how the thing go, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere, and yeah, don't go anywhere. Okay. Parunat, are you here, my man? Oh wow. If he's not here, we're not able to start that one. Skip start playing Mojang again then I think. Oh, you back? I hope so. Okay, I think we can start now.
Okay, and we are now about to head into Hanamura.
Yes, today gonna be in Hanamura. And once again, welcome back to the second game between Kraken, left side this time, and Arclock on the right side. With the bad Chipotle, the force be with you guys. It's me, Kaima, once again, the host and casting with Pararhinos. Reese, welcome.
And we'll see if these comps change or not. So at the moment, each team can see what the other team's locked in. So there could very well be some attempts to throw off other people's team comps at this point. But we'll see what they lock in now. As we, and yeah, no, it does look like, or no, that's the Kraken, sorry. It does look like Krakens are locked into the comp that they picked in there. So that could be a chance for Orclock to know what they're getting into. They are running that very strong counter dive comp once more. It's going to be interesting to see if they execute that one a bit better this time as they get that defensive position set up. It is a very strong comp to run on this choke. Obviously that Halt and Hook combo from the Orisa Roadhog can be absolutely devastating. That said, DMT running the Reinhardt can potentially hedge that one out quite strongly as well.
It's really interesting to see Zara.
It looks like
and
Orclock are going for a triple tank comp to try and bust through this choke. With the extra damage of Junkrat there to help break that one through. So we'll see how this goes for them as they make their way in. Ooh, Halt from the Hook already on cooldown, and
they keep running away. They're gonna shut him down.
Break through onto this point, and there is nothing that the Krakens can do to stop it at this point.
Yes, indeed.
And Fragrant Frog goes down early, which is going to put them in a very strong position. And yeah, the kill's just coming through for them as they bully their way onto this point. And
that's a good sign for Orclock at the moment.
It's a very good start for Orclock. It's going to be very difficult. Yeah, I think this point is all but over, and it comes down to the Kraken setting up for that point B hold now.
Look at
7 minutes 13 seconds. I just these tank heavy comps can do absolute damage if they're executed well, and they're just coming straight onto this second point. They're just going to try and snowball it through.
They have
And
the bomb. They're going to try shadow with the bomb in it, I believe. There we go. That's the bomb.
Oh, there's a big shadow. Taibei does pick up two with the tire though. Liam, his mech picks up marker, but this is anyone's fight at this stage, and Delta picks down Twinks as well. So it does look like we'll see the Kraken stabilize here. Yeah, and Delta cleaning up the tail end of that fight. It was almost a first tick for them though, with Krakens all up on that high ground. There was pretty much nothing to stop them from just walking onto that point, but they managed to win out in the end there with some better focus fire.
I think they try to get like Twink at the 90 chart now, and he's gonna try to get like 100% ulti, and then the combo between Junkrat and Zara is a dead end. Oh, that's the first pick!
Oh, early pick on the Delta is a big opportunity, and they're not passing this one up as they come in hard and deep there.
Yep, they ulti
There's
now.
the grab. Oh,
Can they fight it in one?
Barry committed, but Ryan gets killed anyways on the end of that. But yeah, no, they've committed the beat drop here. and they're very much in control of this point at the moment. It's just Delta alive at the moment, but he won't last long, and sure enough, down he goes. Ryan coming in to try and stall this one out. Fragrant Fart having to duck back behind the pillar to avoid the self-destructing mech, just trying to buy time on this point. Marker gets on there and pops the supercharger. Once again, Tebe back in on tank, back in on Winston, and the reinforcements are coming through, but Delta getting pinned down there on the ground.
Right there.
Yeah, Squidgy cleaning up on this Moira, and there it is, with a blistering 5 minutes and 9 seconds left on the clock there.
What a fight! What a run! In 4 minutes, after like, oh, actually just 2 minutes, and over there they start with a 7.9, and in 2 minutes they capture the second point. That's a very strong performance right there to confirm.
Yeah,
we
All Clock
have
have definitely turned this one around, and they've definitely cleaned up some of those issues of not focusing the targets properly that they were having previously, because that was a very dominant performance by them there. And now Kraken's in the not at all enviable spot of trying to match that.
Let's see how things go again. Can Kraken pull this one out together and make this proud for the whole everyone? Okay, there we go. They got a strat with Mei and Genji. That's a pretty interesting right there. You don't know what Mei can do, right?
Well, it's interesting because they could just be swapping off this Mei, but they could be using it as a means to get through that first choke.
I normally this one time before with Mei, like when you go all the way top, right? You go into the house and you put a wall up to separate the gate into like 2 small ones, and then you just walk through the bridge, get into the pond with Lucio speed. That might be the strat they're looking for, and let's see, can they make that one or maybe different style? At Lunatic High did make that one before, and they pull out pretty strong.
We can do it together.
There's a name we don't hear too much anymore.
I know.
Okay, and yeah, meanwhile we've got a very strong Deathball comp coming out of All Clock for this defense.
Here we go, they try to do it.
Liamy's going to have a big surprise as they all suddenly round that corner. He's going to get out of there very quickly.
What they try to think? Okay, there we go.
They...
Oh, they fell for that! Anyway, that's a good effort.
Liamy does pick up Marco, which is, yeah, the kills are all going through in favour of All Clock, so that's an interesting effort by Kraken, but I think they took maybe a little too long to get that set up, and that sort of telegraphed what they were planning to do a little bit there.
That's true. So if you want to do that one, you need to be quick. Like the Mei need to make the wall in as soon as you come to that one. Not waiting for any single second, because the enemy team know what you guys doing. And they're gonna just hold back, and your supply chain, they lose. Let's see what they're gonna try to do with Mei again.
Yep, so the wall's set up there, and they're making their way through. Oh, but they get... There's a little gap in there, and that's the perfect spot to launch those rockets. And with Reaper just moving up on there, Liamy has just been cleaning up inside these fights with those Hellfire shotguns. And now it's just Fragrant Front desperately trying to get out, but yeah, it was going to get staggered there.
Sweetwing really on fire right now with the Zen, and his accuracy is getting so better from the last time.
And Delta swapping off the Mei back over to the Genji as they make some changes to their comp, going back to the more trusted dive that we've seen out of them. That said, there's not a lot of easy dive targets for them to go after. And Delta gets picked up at the start of the fight, and yeah, the dive comes in, but they're fighting 5v6 into this. Blade committed, does pick up Kusek. Big shatter by DMT in response. Graviton Surge committed. Ah, that's just, it's an absolute slaughter.
It's brutal right there. You can't see what happened, only you see in your blood coming out from Reaper and Corrosion. That's so insane. That
said, we have seen, once again, All Clock have blown all of their ults in that fight. They probably didn't need to commit as many, but thankfully, at least, the Krakens committed pretty much everything they had as well in there. But Orcluck definitely could have probably gotten away. Oh, Fragrant Front going down early at the start of that fight. Once again, this dive and Tebe going down there as well. It's put a very bad position for them to be in. Marco loses the mech, and sure enough, their life. And this one, once again, is going to get cleaned up quite strongly by Krakens. So, sorry, not Krakens. Cleaned up quite strongly by Orcluck. And Krakens now in a very dangerous spot with only 1 minute left on the clock. And no progress on this point whatsoever.
I can tell like their tank is stretching out. They just try to find where they can dive in. The whole point of this, like the whole team can dive in. I suggest they should be on the support 100% and try to go at the team. Like Matrix and Monkey can get in.
The problem is if they dive to the right to try and get the Zen, then they've got a soldier on high ground just cleaning them up from the left. And sure enough, they've gone after Cossack this time, and it's worked out better for them.
That's a very dangerous.
They're trying to snowball through on this fight, and they do get Squidgy as well. That's put them in a very good position. Ooh, big Earth Shatter though from DMT may bring this one back. Graviton Surge committed, and another Death Blossom. Delta has gone down during this. Tebe does get Liamy though, in the tail end of that one, and it's just Elementix alone on the point here with 3 members. Oh no! No, he's coming in from the side. Kusek's back in the fight. He's propped his TAC visor, but all he's getting is Fragrant Fart right now. And that blade being committed by Tebe should clean up the tail end of this fight quite nicely. And
let's do it stronger. They make it!
Squidgy
They can do it!
Transcendence, they've got a few people in here. They need to get some kills though. If they can't get some kills to stabilize this one, then it may just go through. And it's looking like Krakens are going to win this one out. They're getting the kills they need, and their closer respawns are working in their favour. Elementix finally going down, DMT demech'd, and quickly losing their life thereafter. And yes, they've done it, the Krakens have managed to take point A here, but that still puts them behind Orcluck, unfortunately, due to that massive time bank score. So they'll need to make something of it big. That said, they've got ultimate advantage coming into this second push, by far, as Orcluck have once again thrown all of their ults into a defense that didn't work out for them. So let's see if they can snowball this one and get the double cap and turn this back into a match. And they're going in deep, trying to pick off Liamy earlier in the fight. Delta gets a huge pulse bomb! That is huge. Both supports and picks DMT off the back of that. That is absolutely what Kraken need here, and they've committed the sound barrier to make it happen. They've still got that Reaper jumping around on the point, which they need to get rid of, but he's been knocked off the point and is getting zoned out pretty heavily here now. Squidgy back on the point, but dies quickly. Elementix DMT picks up a big charge onto Fragrant Fart, but 2-6 Tire coming in. Another Earth Shatter. This one doesn't get anything. And it does look like the Krakens have control of this fight at this point. Tweaks going down on the Zarya, but reinforcements coming in. Tebe pulls the blade. Another Death Blossom from Liamy, but this one mostly blocked out by the defense matrix. DMT coming back onto the point, but he's very rapidly losing health.
Tebe doing that. He killing everyone. He's just shut down once again.
He's cleaning up the point and getting all of those dash resets. Kusekh coming back on the Junkrat now, getting some more front-loaded damage. But at the moment, they're just trickling onto the point. Unless they can get a stall going, and Liamy on the Mei just might give them what they need there. But unless they can get more members onto the point or get some kills here, they're fighting into a fully 6 team. They're just not going to be able to get any progress. Big grab, but they're still on the point, and unless they can get a clean up there, Elementix goes down. That's it. That's over. And so Kraken get exactly what they need there, but a very long stall effort from Orcluck to keep that one going as long as it did.
That's indeed, like, that stall is really good. Like, even it's just a little bit triggering at the very end, but they're still able to make it.
Well, at that point, the bar was too far along that they don't have the time to try and do a group push. And so it's just desperately trying to keep this fight going to bleed more time off that clock. Krakens now have 2 minutes and 13 seconds to get as far as they can before having to deal with Orcluck's massive time bank. And considering it took them the full 4 minutes to get this first point A, I'd be feeling pretty good right now if I was on Orcluck.
Yes, indeed. Like, you got a time, you got fire ready. That's a big one for them. No matter what happened. And anyway, they put out a pretty good fight. Both teams can tell. they will never go home
Attackers
without fight.
incoming in
And with the
30
2-2 here, I believe this could be like 4-4 or maybe 6-6. Let's see how things go. It could be longer.
I think it would be very impressive if Kraken get all the way up to 6 with only 2 minutes in the bank there. I mean, it can be done. You've absolutely seen pushes on this map where 1 minute on the bank, in the time bank to take point A is a full cap, but it's not common.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Kraken and Outclad outside. Let's see how things going on. Moving on.
My ultimate is charging.
They're coming in. They've gone straight for the dive this time. Liamy's Reaper getting scattered out fairly early, but Fragrant Fight is quite low already, and they're coming in with the dive of a half-health Winston, but he does manage to stay safe throughout that. He's getting healed up, and that early kill onto Liamy really sets them up to get this point. Fragrant Fight does at last go down, but trades his life for Squidgy. That's a trade I'd take any day of the week, and this is definitely going very much in the favour of Team Kraken. DMT trying to get the hammer in there, but does eventually give up his life, and they've done it. They've taken this point A in their first push. So very great effort there from Kraken. Done a phenomenal job, and they're sending half their team forwards to intercept anyone attempting to come out and challenge this point. So it's going to put them in a great position to snowball it. I mean, DMT has to swap off the Reinhardt onto Winston, so resetting what little ult charge he got already. And they're coming straight in on that. Delta gets picked out early though. Great shot by Zan. Kusik accidentally rockets himself in the face, but the kills are still very much going in favour of Orclock here, and I think they've managed to stabilise for this defence. Marker makes their way out. Ryan, late stagger kill onto the Lucio there is unfortunate, and Tebe slowly making their way back. That said, they, even with that thing, it was in fact too quick to be a real snowball there, and the ultimates are just starting to come online now, so Orclock's still in a bit of a dangerous position, but their DPS ultimates aren't too far away, and Squidgy's Transcendence will be up very shortly as well, which they absolutely will need. Tebe's Dragon Blade, which has just come online. And the beat has dropped, so we expect that sword to come out. No, they were waiting for the Transcendence. Liamy does pick up Ryan though, and Marker's mech'd. Tebe does commit the Dragon Blade there, gets 2. Self-destruct thrown out there, does pick up Marker, so it's picking up. Yep, and Tebe getting some late kills though. It's still anyone's fight. Delta goes down, but okay, now, and at this point, Tebe is alone on the point, and it's going to be very difficult there, which does put them in a very awkward spot on Kraken, because they're not really going to be able to group for that push. So all they can really do here is try and trickle on the point to get any progress, and Marker is going to come in the side and get there. Justin, no! He doesn't get there in time! Must have still had, he did look like he was going to make it just in time. But even then, they were not in a great spot to be able to take that fight, and they really needed to get a lot more from the fight before it. That said, they got all of point A, so all they need to do here for Team Kraken is get a stronghold on A and bleed out time from Orclock, and this map can still be theirs. Let's see if they've worked out how to deal with Orclock's tank-heavy lineup for this attack. Because they've got to be expecting it to come in again after such a dominant performance last time. You've got to expect, and it does look like they will be running it again, so you've got to make plans to deal with that. And they are bringing out both a Reaper and a Junkrat, so it's a good start for that. It's a lot of front-loaded damage to disrupt all those tanks, but it's not just a matter of hero picks, they've got to get the execution as well.
At this point, Outclad have the winning chance over there. Like, they put out the fire, they can tell, like, the first pawn, with their corporate, it's really easy to get one. But the question is, can they do the same thing with the second pawn? Because Kraken, they get used with Outclad now. The synergy, the counter fight, they know each other now. So this is the game of mine. Let's see how Outclad made this one through for them. With the
pick up the calm, and sure half the Krakens know exactly where that's coming from, but they're just bullying their way through. Oh, good counter charge though, as DMT gets picked up and slammed into a wall. And lots of kills for both teams right now. It'll come down to who can focus fire and brawl out better on this point as things go down. And Liam getting demech there does give a definite edge for the defenders, but Anti going down off the back of that as well. Kusek getting a double kill, getting a 3k. Kusek has just cracked open this point for them.
Him as well.
And yeah, that's it. Once that Junkrat gets in that massive damage, what can you do?
I would just say, please, nerf Junkrat. Come on, one more, please, Junkrat. I don't know what to say, because whenever I play against him, he always told me double 9. Once again, I can't tell about that. Okay, they got the ulti. The crime time gonna come up soon with 70% now. They can't wait for that, or maybe they're just pushing at the man straight with that ulti.
Yeah, now Delta's gonna have his own Riptide very shortly as well. And it's at the moment ultimates for the most part pretty even, other than Kusek being over, and of course Twinks having a good 20% on Fragrant Fart. But beyond those two, it's pretty even, and it's going to come down to how well they can use it. Delta gets 3 with the tire! That is huge! That has cracked open this last point for them. And, well, no, sorry, not cracked open the fight. That has absolutely saved that point as I get my teams mixed up. And, yeah, no, Kusek now having to run, desperately trying to get away. Very low health. Oh, it's a very late stagger. That's shame to see, but an amazing tire from Delta, who was already 37% towards his next one. That's just a fight-saving ultimate there, but they're not out from it yet because Orklok still have all of their ultimates except the D.Va self-destruct, which they'll have up very soon. So that time they managed to at least not commit ultimates into a losing fight, and now they're in a very strong position to take this. That's, I mean, no ults other than that tire were committed that last fight, so both teams actually in a very strong place for this one. And let's see, they've just rotated around and moved on to the point. Oh, but they're all caught. Oh, that's a lot of ultimates being committed for very little effect.
Here comes the Graviton and the bomb! It's 5-1! They are doing that.
I think that's done it for them in the end, but there were a lot of ultimates thrown into the early stages of that fight that just did not get anything done. And everyone is sort of sustaining on this point right now. The kill's finally coming through.
This might be the hero play. That's the hero play
another big tire from Delta. Which may be all they need to clean this one up, because there's not a lot of people left on the point there. I think they've just managed to hold them off. Once again. And that's after such a big opening. If Orklok had just staggered out their ultimates a bit more instead of going all in with them all at the start, I think they absolutely should have won that fight. But once again, they, I suppose, didn't manage those ultimates too well, and they get punished for it. And now Kraken in a good position to hold this point out. It's 2 minutes left. All ultimates are being charged at the moment. Liam's self-destruct will be the first one up. But Squidgy's Coalescence should be not too long behind it. So the attackers slight edge there in terms of ultimates, but that can change around. And there's Liam's mech there, right in the middle of the fight. It's an awkward position. Huge self-destruct. Liam has just won the game for them as we sit just under that percentage, and there it is. Just incredible. A 4K on a self-destruct, while the Rhine was up blocking it as well, because the Krakens were just everywhere on that point except behind their Reinhardt shield. That's just, yeah, and so with that, Orklok pick up a win to stabilize there, despite some huge plays from Delta's Junkrat there, as you see. And so it is now 1-1 as we move on to our third and final round, which will be going to Oasis.
That's it. Oh wow, this is gonna be good. Wow, man, the whole fight, I can't say anything more because there's so many play and counter play keep happen and happen again. It just makes both teams get you that. And once again, Concussion Outcloud, they make it. They make 1-1.
And this is an interesting one because we're going to Oasis and we're going to these control point maps. That tends to favour basically the team that has the more coordinated play and the better ult management. So it's once again, I feel like Orc should have the edge there, but they do tend to overcommit ultimates into these fights, and that may bite them. So it's going to be interesting to see what we see from these teams. And if, yeah, I suppose it comes down to will Kraken be able to punish any mistakes by Orc make? And yeah, Delta has been absolutely popping off on the side of Kraken and getting so much work done for them. So I do hope that that continues.
Okay, I think I'll be back in 2 minutes. Well, let's see how things go.
On that note, I think I'm going to go and refill rather, my water bottle. I'll be right back.
Yeah, they should be talking for sure. Man, this is interesting. 1-1. It's just make the game more and more fun. Let's go into the next map. It's gonna be Oasis once again, ladies and gentlemen. Oh wow, you're gonna see Pharah Mercy? Yes. You're gonna see Roadhog and Orisa combo? Yes. Although thing will happen in this Oasis. But no matter what, it will be there. Try to get their win, to stay in this tournament no matter what. And after all, we come here to learn, and that's the whole point of this. And they try their best. Can't say better.
Now, Oasis is an interesting map because like I know there's a lot of people out there that aren't particularly fond of it, but there's a lot of people out there that aren't fond of any map that was released last year. But each stage of Oasis can bring out some completely different strategies. It looks like we will be going to City Center first. Now, this is probably the of the 3 points, the one that sees the most diversity in team comps, because it absolutely can be a Pharah point, but it's also common to see all sorts of other comps here as well. There is that powerful high ground if you can get the hit scan dominance up there. You can also run just a full dive with Tracer Genji and just skirmish all over this point. So it's going to be interesting to see what we see from the teams. Looks like Kraken might be going for a pharmacy-based comp, whereas Orc are very clearly not putting up their actual comp at this stage. It's based on their hero picks there. This moment.
You don't know, they might have Q-Side Hanzo. They are loving it. They're not doing it.
They could well be running that comp. There is an awful lot of front-loaded damage on that comp, so it could be very dangerous if that's what they end up running with, if they focus their targets effectively. And that actually, it looks like maybe that is what they're running with. Maybe. Oh no, wait, yes, no, yes.
3,
Are they running the Hanzo?
One.
Need to know.
round 1.
And yes, they are, okay.
The Hanzo, interesting.
So they're running, yeah, they're running that Roadhog Diva comp, so a lot of front-loaded tank damage, and they got the high damage of Hanzo arrows as well. But they could be in trouble with that pharmacy in the sky. Oh, early hit, kick, and Ryan. Wow, just Ryan going down so quickly I forget how to speak.
Maybe too fast. Oh, there we go.
Kusek does go down very quickly from the pharmacy as well, because they really don't have a strong answer to that. Oh,
Taibei, that's a good shot from that.
Taibei is just ruling the skies here, and that's, yeah, Orclark just don't know how to respond to this one.
They try to intel
also
fire,
picks up
I think,
Elementics.
because no one can shoot her at the moment now.
And yeah, I think, yeah, and Kusek's already swapped over to the Soldier 76 to give them some means to deal with that pharmacy threat, because they just, yeah, and Twinks has gone over to McCree as well, so they've gone right over to the double hit scan there. Very late stagger kill onto Lammy as well. Going to buy a lot of time for Krakens here as Orclark finally get their way through. They just, the moment, just sort of taking a shelling, and it's, okay, Kusek's actually gone over to the Junkrat now. So they've obviously thought against the Soldier there, but Twinks takes a rocket early on to get sealed up. Lammy coming in. Oh, and they do manage to bull rush that Taibei's barrow out of the sky. Rez coming in, but DMT gets the hook on Anthony, and that's really going to turn this fight around in favour of Orclark here. And oh, big hook onto Ryan as well. DMT has just been hitting those hooks. Kusek does go down to the self-destruct, but I'm not sure it's going to matter at this point. That said, the clock is still ticking up in favour of the Krakens, as they've still got presence on the point, and that's finally now going to flip over. So Orclark getting the flip there at 63% in favour of the Kraken on the stage. Very strong opening, but very good counterplay, and DMT has just been brutal with those hooks, so. And looks like Orclark going to make the push in here. They've come around to the far side, working around a little. Oh, and Twinks gets knocked off the high ground as the dive comes in. Maybe some miscommunication there. And Taibei having to deal with Lammy in the sky once again, but Marker is there to try and check. And Twinks has gone down to Taibei's rockets, and there's the barrage. Cleans up. Oh, very nice.
Big one right here, my friend.
Yeah, good tank play to get in her face, but I think the damage has been done, as that barrage did pick up 2 kills plus a DMAC. And the point does look like it's about to be flipped back to Krakens as soon as they clean up that Moira. And, yes, sure enough, flipped over there at 61%, so everything is very even at this point. And we'll see how long Krakens can hold this point. Can they get up to 99%? Probably. It's a big point. It's very easy to stall out because of how big it is. A lot of room on that point to hide around, so even if Orclark get a strong fight win here, it's still probably going to get
jump the bomb. Can he do it? 1, 2, 3. Boom! We find one!
Look, it does pick up the Moira on that. At the same time, Twinks has gone down to Delta, so that's looking very much in favour of the Krakens at this point. And Lammy's self-destruct not managing to get anything this time. So it's going to come down to these next couple of kills, and they are coming through in favour of Kraken. Kusek's Tyre coming in and over the fence. Is it going to get anything? Goes, gets the DMAC onto Marker, but that's not enough to win this fight. Moira on the point. Twinks gets Ryan with the Deadeye shot. This may be the opening they need, but Delta puts an end to that. Anthony gets Ryan back up and into the fight. Taibei picking up Kusek. All the kills are very much coming in favour of Krakens right here, right now. DMT does make it back onto the point, and that's going to buy a lot of time. Liam making on as well, so the tanks are on the point. DMT's down already though, goes down to Ryan of all people. Liam just trying to buy time for his team. Another devastating barrage by Taibei to end that one, as he just cleans up all of the stragglers.
It looked like Kraken got this in the hand for the first map. Well played.
No, Kraken are definitely coming up strong there, and that one wasn't even like so many of the previous fights or Clark overcommitting and making mistakes. They had a very strong, solid performance there, and they absolutely brought the fight to Orclark and won that one in their own right. So absolutely hats off Kraken there as we move on to stage 2. Now, Orclark, unfortunately, probably a little concerned because Gardens is also a very strong Pharah map, and Tebey's Pharah has really been the difference maker so far on Oasis. So they will be running Twinks on a Pharah of their own. Will that be enough to equalize this? Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Yes, not like that. Okay, Twink. Put it on Pharah.
Liam is in deep by himself at the moment, so that's going to put him very vulnerable, but they don't punish him for it. That's it, they just dive straight onto Orclark's backline instead. And that's done it just as well. And the D-Mech now on Alami is going to see Kraken set up in a very dominant opening position there.
Okay,
Some
that's a good
miscommunication there because, yeah, Liam went in very deep by himself, and I think there was that moment of do we punish the D.Va, and someone else called out no, we punish the rest of their team, and sure enough they did. And DMT now going to go over onto the Reinhardt instead and make their way in the front door.
Time to raise my
Liam pushing forwards, but and there's the counter dive as they move back onto the back
Try to
line.
do a damage on that. Oh, that's a good shot from BMB. He can make that. He will make that happen again.
DMT picks up 2 with a charge and a follow-up swing. This has definitely put Krakens on the back foot, but Tebey's still in the sky, raining down rockets. Marker commits.
Not
Wow!
can't believe it!
Self-destruct
They got the
after they
barrage?
died. Tebey trying to turn this fight around just by committing the self-destruct. But respawns are coming in from both teams. This is anyone's fight at this point, and if you're Krakens right now, that's great news for you because every moment this fight drags on, you're still getting percentage from it. They commit the sound barrier there just to get it up, and I think, yeah, and sure enough, Orclark are finally backing out and regroup, but they're still getting stagger killed off it as well as DMT goes down. So Kraken in a very dominant position, 70% and counting, and still waiting for Orclark to regroup. So this one will be going up to 99% by the end of this next fight. And Orclark will need to win this fight and then not drop a fight the rest of this game for this not to be over here and now. And they're making their way in now. Self-destruct over the top to make some space.
Ooh, this Twink again, he tried to make it.
Twix picks up Ryan even as Tebey gets picked up from that self-destruct. So that's the opening
they can't do anything about that anymore.
Absolutely the opening that Orclark need here. Fragrant Farts committed the Primal Rage just to try to get this one going.
Oh, what get it?
Dies,
They're doing that!
Andy's
They're
gone
doing
down
that!
as well, and the fight point has been flipped. So Orclark have won this fight, and they've done it. Oh, they don't have any ultimates in the bank though, which is very unfortunate because Anthony's got that Valkyrie ready, and they've got a self-destruct from Marker to open up the fight as well. And so they really need to ration those ultimates on the part of Orclark. They need to get them up, and they need to keep them to keep hold of this point because they cannot afford to lose a fight.
That's going to be like, oh, that's a good class on
early
him!
kill by Delta. Early kill by Twinks onto Delta, I should say. And that's just going to immediately Kraken are immediately retreating on this one. It's a very good decision. They've got ultimate advantage right now. I think they know they do. And so pulling out to group up to try and preserve that is definitely the right way to go. And, once again, Delta coming in now, trying to get some early kills. Dive comes in onto that high ground, and they do get Cossack, but Ryan gets traded back, and Tebey going down to a rocket from Twinks as well.
The bomb complete shot! He's getting it for the team,
brutal.
he's doing that!
Tebey does get brought back up by the Mercy, but this... Oh no, they pick up Cossack, and they're committing the self-destruct. Yeah, there's a lot of... it's a lot of rocket barrages being committed. But Orclark remaining in control at this point.
Ball, my friend.
And now things have flipped. They needed to win that fight and do it without using too many ultimates, and they did. And now Orclark have 3 ultimates coming into the last fight. They've got Self-Destruct, they'll have Valkyrie, and they're going to have the Stack Visor. And Kraken only have that Self-Destruct to answer for it. So It's a very awkward position to be in, and there's the Valkyrie being committed. Self-destruct launched up into the air just to create some space. Elementix in the meantime has picked off Anthony. Squidgy brings back Kusak. Attack visor being committed, does pick up Ryan before going down to Tebe. So at this point, with 3 and 5 on the point. Clock still in a very dominant position. Twinks gets Tebe, it goes down immediately to Delta, and DMT is just cleaning up the back end of this fight with the giant hammer. Delta is just stalling as long as he can, but that Moira beam
Yeah,
makes
he
it
got
so
10
hard.
player kill threat. This guy is
Oh,
literally
a
guaranteed.
huge charge by DMT there onto the Fragrant Fart. Rez does get brought off though. The Fragrant Fart is back up and jumping around the point. Primal Rage committed just to buy time, but they need to get some kills. If the Krakens can't get any kills here, it's not going to matter. They can stall until the cows come home.
Yeah, make
If they don't
that
get any
for the
kills,
team,
it's
we're doing
a
that.
stagger game. And the kill feed, it continues to just be absolutely in favour of Clock. Brian making it back onto the point now as well, and has actually retreated. He was on the point, and then he got off.
1-1.
Oh, but it was so close. That was absolutely so close. And Kraken almost did it, but Clock coming out at the end, managing to get point, and then get a consistent, steady hold on it. And now we'll be going over to University, where thankfully they won't have to worry about Tebe's devastating Pharah.
Just like in training.
So it all comes down to this one, and Leomy looking like they still might play the Pharmacy. Yeah, I mean it's doable, and we do occasionally see it, but it's not the strongest Pharah map.
Let's see the final point. Who will win this? We'll decide by this round. I wish you guys the best. Outclass Kraken, you can do it. Trust you guys and see how everything go. With the team comp now, I feel like the red team and Outclass they're a little bit like less of this game, but the area gap is a lot.
They've got double projectiles here, so they don't have an obvious person to follow up on the damage. Oh, great opening pin by DMT. Fragrant tries to save Anthony with the bubble, but the damage is done, and that fight is very strongly going in favour of Orclock here. And I say, as much as I say it's going to be hard to follow up on these kills, they do not seem to be having trouble. And that giant Reinhardt hammer is definitely one of the big contributors there to getting those kills. They've got a lot of front-loaded damage. They don't have a hero really well suited for chasing down those low health targets, except for maybe the Moira. But it's working out for them as they're just putting in so much damage that so far Krakens have really struggled. And even now, the Krakens are looking like they're having trouble just counting an approach into here.
You can see now they are a little bit stressful because every second to them is very matter. It's about Reinhardt minding now. Can Marker make the play he wants? He got strapped. This is unchopper for them.
Oh, that's a
They're gonna
big
get
grab.
cleaned.
Sam
They're gonna
Barrett
get cleaned by
committed,
that.
but that's brutal. And the Sam Barrett committed for Ryan just cannot save against the combined power of the Junkrat Mines and the Rocket Barrage. And I think the thing I'm happiest with there is that not only have Clock won that fight, they did it using 2 ultimates instead of 5. So that's a big improvement on their part. I keep harping on about it, but it's good to see that that's starting to get cleaned up.
Yes, indeed. Well, look like
Krakens
Outclass will
making
hold
their
this
way
one
in
to
there.
99. They try to shoot at the shield, then make a track. Leomy doing a lot of damage at the moment now. This
Oh,
guy
it's a
is
big
accountable.
from DMT, but he gets out.
Delta trying to flank on the left side. Can they counter that? That's a perfect
right.
unlucky. Then moving
Got a
on, they
Valkyrie
move on the
overhead
phone.
from Squidgy, just makes it very hard. But DMT going down early does give a window of opening. Squidgy does get the res off without getting punished though. So Tebe picking up Kusak, and it looks like Clock might. Sorry, not Clock. It looks like Kraken might just make it into this fight, but that said, Delta going down there is going to put them in a very awkward position. Tebe raining down hell from that high ground. Leomy, another big rocket barrage, huge rocket barrage, 3k there, and that clock almost completely gone. They've got to get on the point. Overtime's over, Delta needs to get there, and he doesn't. That's it. That's it, Clock have done it. They have taken this one right to the end, but they've come
Finally.
through in the end. And I have to say, they've really tightened up a lot there on Oasis. Those last two rounds, their old economy improved so much from what we've seen from this game, and that's absolutely enabled their victory. So Orclock have won this game, but a very close match, and really did come right down to the wire.
Who you think could be the MVP for this one? I think about Liami. Because this guy, he put a lot of play, the hero switching to fit the team. Speaking of that, Cusack and DMT drink, like a lot of team doing well, but in most shiny member, I would say Liami.
Yeah, I have to agree. I want to give an honourable mention to DMT, who just pulled off some incredible plays there throughout the series. But Liami just got so much value from so many ults. Like, I know a lot of, I've harped on about Orclock's ult usage, but Liami, between getting that surprise 4K Diva Bomb that got them over the line in Hanamura, to just some incredible play there on Oasis as well, I think absolutely is our player of the match. Yeah, and I definitely want to give honourable mentions both to DMT from Orclock for some really solid tank play, and Delta from Kraken, who absolutely had some huge plays of his own.
Okay, that's it. Now we're next moving on to the next one. Yeah, I can shop. Okay, let's move on. Next map.
Chops invited me to his lobby. Should I?
Okay, let's tie one up.